Today I'm going to show you how to tear paper. So I have your two nice papers here, the Lenox with this flat edge and the Reeves BFK with the bumpy edge. But before I put the Reeves BFK away, I want to just talk to you a bit about finding the front of the paper and the back of the paper. Because there actually is a front and a back. Did you know that? So how can we tell? Well, the front of the paper is going to have more of a natural, random kind of texture, whereas the back of the paper is going to be more like mesh, meaning there's going to be like a grid. And that's because of the paper making process involves a screen. So you don't want to use the grid side, you want to use the more natural side. Now it's very subtle and kind of hard to tell. There is something easier you can do though. With the Reeves BFK, it actually has the words written. It's called a watermark. Reeves BFK in the bottom corner. So when you can't read it, when it's backwards, it's the back. When you can read the words properly, it's the front. It's also a little harder to see the words on the front because they're actually printed into the back. So that's good to know as well. So I'm going to put this away for now, but when you are going to use a Reeves BFK, just remember which side is the front, which side is the back. Now for the Lenox, to be honest, it's really hard to tell. So try to look at it for a second, which side looks a little more natural. And then if you can't really tell, don't worry. Okay, so these both come in 22 by 30 inch rectangles. This is the plexiglass plate you're going to be printing from. So I think I want to get the most out of each sheet as I can. I see a way to get 5 printed out of this. Okay. You could also do 4 and they have a bigger border, but I think a small border is fine for right now. Okay, so I've sort of measured out that I can do this with 30 centimeters. This 30 centimeters gives it enough space in the top and the bottom. I'm going to mark a 30 and a 30. Now, if you were working with the Reeves BFK, I would say make sure you mark it on the back side. You always want to tear from the back. However, in this situation, since it's really hard to tell with the Lenox, I'm not going to worry about it too much. This is called a tear bar. It's got kind of a sharp edge. Not that sharp that you cut yourself, but sharp enough to cut paper. So you take the paper tear bar and you line it up on your little marks that you made. Now just take a second to do this part slow, like no rush, okay? Now holding down your hand on the tear bar, take your other hand and you lift. And you walk your hand down, so this hand is walking, because if you keep it up here, then the ruler could move. That's how you tear paper. That gives you a really nice kind of soft edge. And printmakers love that. You could also cut with a knife if you want a sharp edge, and that's fine too, but the tradition is to have this nice soft edge. But it's not required. So if you prefer more like a graphic modern, that's fine with me. Okay. So now I need to cut it, I need to tear it the other way. And let's just see how many centimeters it is. I know it's 30 inches, but in centimeters, 76. So 76 divided by 3. Okay, I just got back from using the calculator. It's 25 1/3. So 25 1/3. Something I want to point out to you. The ruler, you always start from 0, not the edge of the ruler. From 0. As you can see, I marked 25 1/3 on the top and also the bottom. And then I marked it as well over here and over here. So you're going to use these marks to tear. So you can also use this ruler. So I'll show you on a ruler, it's the same thing. Okay, see how I'm lining up the ruler with the mark I made and with the mark I made on the bottom. Okay, so the mark's right here, the mark is right there. Once again, lift, move this over. Okay, so now I have 3 sheets. So you can fit it on here twice. I'm just going to be some extra. All right, do you see how I've lined up the edge of the paper with the 0, not the edge of the ruler? Okay, so we're going to mark it at 30. And then another 30, because we're just going to cut off the excess. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they're about the same size. They don't have to be exact for this, but basically if you do a 25 centimeter by 30 centimeter piece, you can get 5 out of your pages. So I think that's like a good way to go about getting the most out of your piece of paper. So now I want you to look at something. The back of the paper has the marks, but it also has like kind of like a ridge, whereas the front of the paper is more smooth. You'll see this better when you do it in person, of course. So you want to use the front side, not the back side, because it'll look nicer. And if you're going to forget which side is the front, which side is the back, here's something you can do. Just put a little X on the back corner in pencil. And that way, when you go to grab it, you won't forget.